What would happen if one has been assigned a job but doesn't have the skill to back it up? The protagonist in this story is in a similar situation. This recap covers the first 6 chapters of the manhwa, How to Live as an Unlicensed Healer. So without further ado, let's get started. The story starts at an inn. A painful shriek alarms the innkeeper, and when she goes to the room from where she hears the scream, she finds a man with extreme pain in his legs, desperately requesting to get him a healer. Now, we are introduced to the events that happened a few hours ago. An injured adventurer, Ruth Taker of Azul Continent, arrives at a village and feels himself to be lucky, as he can heal his injuries in the village. We learn that his current injured state is because of the black mane wolves. He had committed the mistake of thinking the wolves would move as a small pack, but he had to face a pack of 30 black mane wolves. As if all the bad luck in the world was sticking onto him. He had somehow managed to escape from them with the sole intention to get healed from his injuries. He was short on money, so he decided to borrow money from the Adventure Association. The receptionist at the reception explains to Ruth all the rules and clauses in the contract, and also gives the information on the interest that needs to be paid. At the same time, a man in a white dress is eavesdropping on the conversation. Ruth quickly exits the association fearing the worsening of injuries. Just then Ruth is called out by the man who had overheard his conversation with the receptionist, asks him whether he was looking for a healer, and proposes an attractive offer of healing Ruth at a cheap price. Ruth instantly deems the man to be suspicious, but asks him to show his healer badge. A healer badge is an official identification for any healer to prove their authentication, which was made to reduce the fraud healers who would scam people for the money, as a healer could earn a lot. The man cheerfully answers that he was not awarded a badge because he could not perform the healing skill. Ruth thinks him to be crazy and goes on his way, but that man glances at Ruth's wounds and accurately points out the causes of each of his wounds, surprising Ruth. But still Ruth does not take the risk of believing him and again tries to avoid him. The mysterious man warns Ruth that he can't be completely healed and asks Ruth to find him if his leg gives him pain at night. Ruth is surprised and at the same time suspicious that he and the mysterious man are staying at the same inn. After this encounter, Ruth directly heads off to the church where he is treated by a priest who excels in holy magic. The healing fee turns out to be 620,000 gold, which gives Ruth a minor heart attack. But he obviously had to pay them in full. He heads back satisfied with the effects of the priest's holy magic, although it tends to be expensive. Now, in the present, as the pain intensifies, Ruth remembers the events that had happened to him that day, and remembers that the mysterious man stays at the same inn, and pleads with the innkeeper to bring that man to him, whose name is still unknown to him. In the meantime, the mysterious man arrives as if he had predicted the events that will happen. He assures Julia, the innkeeper, that he would take care of things, while Ruth requests him to heal his leg. The man demands twice the amount he asked for the last time, and asks Ruth to find someone else if he thought the fee was high. Even though Ruth is enraged and confused, he complies and pays him with his sword, which would easily sell at 200,000 gold. Ruth wonders if this would be the day he'll die, but the healer says that if that were a possibility, he would have kidnapped Ruth and healed him, assuring Ruth that he can be cured. He says that the reason why Ruth was not completely healed is because of poison, which does not exit the body when a healing skill is used. He gives Ruth a black lingonberry. The leaves and stems have poison that can paralyze anyone with just a scratch, and points out that he was poisoned by this plant while he was fighting black mane wolves. When Ruth is scared that he won't ever be able to walk again, the healer says that there is a way and takes out the antidote for the poison. He then asks Ruth's permission to cut open the closed wound to administer the antidote, which must be applied directly to the affected area, to which Ruth reluctantly agrees and cries out during the treatment, unable to endure the pain. The mysterious man's name is revealed to be Kang Songhyun. 3 years ago, Kang Songhyun found himself in an unfamiliar cave, and much to his surprise, a window popped up in front of him, claiming that he has been assigned a job as a healer. Everything happening around him was just like some RPG game, since he also had to fight the monsters that appeared. Fortunately, he was not the only one who was dragged here from Earth, which made him feel somewhat relieved. Everyone who was there along with him was assigned a job, and stat points for each physical attribute a human can possess. This world was filled with magic power called mana, which could be used as fuel to create magic spells. After fighting the monster, the group tries to settle down and gather their thoughts. At that time, Songhyun finds out that he does not have a healing skill despite being a healer. Back to the present, after successfully treating Ruth, Songhyun heads to have his meal at the restaurant. While waiting for the food, he starts updating his journal, which he started writing after coming to this new world full of monsters and fantasy elements, hoping that it might help him find his way back to Earth someday. It is revealed that he gets a point each time he heals someone, and these points can be traded for spinning the roulette, which gives him skills, money, or stat points depending on his luck. Now he acquires a new skill called distribution, which enables him to change the absorbed potion into energy and distribute it as buffs while increasing its effect by 30%. After his meal he gets in trouble with a man due to a misunderstanding, but when the man learns that Songhyun is a healer, his attitude changes, and he requests him to join his party to hunt a rare monster. The reward for the mission was 1.2 million gold. Enticed by the reward, Songhyun agrees to join the party for the hunt. Songhyun arrives at the Adventure Association with Rick, but the other members of Rick's party have already scouted another healer for the mission. It is then decided that both of them would join as healers for the mission, and they confidently set out on the adventure. During the trip, Songhyun learns that they would hunt a sewer rat, and he finds out that all the people in the party have never fought a rare monster. Alarmed by the circumstances, Songhyun advises the others to go back to the village and stock up on potions, but they disregard his opinion. This makes Songhyun opt out of the mission. Before leaving, Songhyun confidently claims that they would definitely lose the battle and asks them to find him if they need his help with the injuries. The party continues their journey and finds the sewer rat. They decide to attack it as planned, but the monster dodges it and uses its special skill to control the low-level beings of the same race. Soon the tides of the battle change and the adventure party is on the losing end, with 3 of its damage dealers injured, leaving only the healer. Just at the time when the healer is about to be attacked, our protagonist enters and saves his life and asks him who would pay that huge amount of reward money for some single ordinary rat. The healer, Murtbello, is surprised and thankful to see Songhyun. Songhyun asks the healer Murtbello to cast the God of Shield skill on the others while he distracts the rat. Songhyun uses a mana potion along with his distribution skill to recover the healer's mana. The mana recovery skill is not seen in the natives of the world. This makes Murtbello misunderstand Songhyun as a god in disguise. Murtbello apologizes, feeling guilty for his action toward Songhyun. He then follows Songyun's instructions and casts his spell. Songhyun exactly knows the monster's weaknesses and habits, so he had prepared a pesticide Tentral Peppermint, which is lethal for pest-type monsters. He uses distribution skill and attacks the sewer rats, but the monster retaliates and uses its domination skill again, which makes other rats to swarm him, but he uses a recovery potion to regain his health points. The rat monster bites his legs, causing Songhyun to fall into an abnormal state, and the monster's domination skill gives him a debuff, which makes him use twice the amount of mana he normally uses. Now the monster rushes to finish Songhyun off, but we learn that Songhyun does not use mana, and he kills the monster using his incision skill, which does not require mana. After the kill, a system notification pops out indicating a rare achievement with instructions to claim his reward. He finds it annoying that the reward is also a roulette, but this time he acquires an attack skill called throwing. This skill has the bonus effect of increasing damage chances by 25%. The other members of the party are then healed, but Songhyun shamelessly demands 300,000 gold from each person for treating them, which they oblige. But what was more shocking for them was that Songhyun, a healer, had subdued the monster alone. The members of the party decide to retire from adventuring and decide to return to their hometown. Healer Murtbello still believes Kang Songhyun to be a god and decides that he needs more training to be acknowledged by Kang Songhyun, completely turning into his fan fanatic. Songhyun heads to the association to appraise the sealed item obtained by killing the monster. The appraiser tries to scam Songhyun by grading the item to be of C rank. The smart Songhyun caught on to his thoughts and beat the shit out of him until the appraiser gave the correct grading for the item, which turned out to be a B+ rank artifact. It's worth 6.4 million gold. He then asks the appraiser to unseal the artifact so that it can be used and sold. Kang Songhyun arrives at a pub to have dinner, but finds that the pub was very busy and there were no free seats. A man who is his acquaintance invites him to his table, and we learn that the man is Kim Junho, who is also a fellow dimension traveler. It was their first time meeting after 2 months. The duo happily chat with each other and brag about how much they earn doing their jobs. While sharing an expensive drink, Songhyun brings up an important topic, and they both turn off the communication of God skill to prevent the leak of information. Kang Songhyun reveals that the new skill he obtained has some weird black star on it. Kim Junho is also surprised and thinks it to be unusual. Suddenly Junho remembers a strong person who was in his hunting group some time ago. Junho remembers him speaking about the black star skill. Unfortunately, Junho can't remember his name, But on their last day with the group, Junho heard him saying he had finally obtained the fourth skill. Kim Junho makes a remark that the Black Star skill might be some sort of clue to return back to Earth, which puts both of them in deep thought. If you liked the video, please hit that red subscribe button and make sure to comment on the video. Thanks for watching.